Good morning. You talked the other night about Owen and his foul trouble. Is that the biggest adjustment freshmen have to make, especially freshman big men when they come into the league?
Yeah, for a lot of reasons, John.
Mm.
Not the least of which is every team he goes against has quality bigs. Uh, Figuring out the level of physicality that's acceptable, what's not, how you use your hands, how you use your feet, how you use your lower half. You know, when to go block a shot, when to tall up. It just takes time, and he's always been a really gifted shot blocker. Yeah, but this level is different, so it's a lot harder. But he's really working at it. We're working with him. We'll get him there.
Tyler Tachman.
Hey, Fran, I hope you're doing well. It seemed like Evan gave you some positive minutes off the bench against Maryland. Just what all did you like from what he provided?
I thought he was terrific. He was physical. He ran the floor. He moved well. He's a veteran guy that knows what we're doing. I was just really, really pleased with him, and it's nice to have that kind of depth.
Tom Caker.
And anything different about Michigan this time around? It's been almost 2 months since you guys saw them.
Yeah, I think, the team that we'll play is the same team that we played in the sense that, they have Doug, who's really good and kind of makes them go. I do think Tarris Reed has really blossomed. He had a good game against us and really has become more of a focal point of what they're doing. But their other starters, I mean, all of them can score. They've got a number of guys that can go for 20, getting quality play off the bench. They lost a couple tough games that were close, but obviously they'll be tougher at home.
Elliot.
Morning, Fran. I know. I mean, it was first question. I talked about Owen. I guess is a big part of that timing too. Like, in how important is that factor of timing and learning to not have as many fouls.
Yeah, it's understanding actions. What's coming at you. How are they posting the guy up? Is it on the block? Is it off the block? Is it high low? Are they flashing? Are they ripping and driving you? When the shot goes, are they pushing you under? You got to hold your ground. You got to do your work early, defensively. And in order to do that, you have to respond, not react. Two different things. And like I said, I mean that kind of stuff takes time. When you talk about experience, that's what experience is. Guys that you think back to the days of Luka Garza's freshman year and where he was as a senior. He had such instincts and such feel. Same with Tyler Cook. Those guys, Keegan and Chris, Phillip, Ryan Kriener. I mean, all those guys, Woodbury, they figure it out over time. And, Woodbury was as physical as anybody we've had. He was never in foul trouble because he knew where to go, knew how to position himself.
Tyler.
I know you talked after the Maryland game about having Patrick on a minutes restriction. I guess just what is the plan with him moving forward, and also is there an update on how Ladji's doing?
Ladji's doing a lot better. He practiced yesterday. I feel good about him tomorrow. I mean, I haven't seen him today. We practice in a couple hours, so I'll see how he feels today if he's a full go. Patrick, gave us some quality minutes in the first half. I didn't think he was himself. Probably should have put him back in maybe for a little bit more. When they started pressing, I made the decision to go with Brock. I thought he was, good in that situation. Would be good in that situation. So sometimes you just make those kind of decisions. But, he was only going to play 15 minutes anyway, probably. I think he played 10. Like I said, I probably could have given it another 4 or 5 minutes.
Tom,
Fran, with Josh Dix, kind of this second run with him in the starting lineup, it's gone much better. Is it just simply maybe he's off the ball more and he's able to just kind of move and get comfortable as opposed to maybe being a playmaker in his first go around?
Yeah, I mean, we really only started one game before. I mean, I did start him against Wichita State in the scrimmage, but I feel very comfortable with him at the point. Tony's done a really good job, and we start those guys. Made the decision to put the ball in Tony's hands, and Tony's done a good job with that. Been really impressed with him. But I have no problem with Josh Dix at the point at all. But I do think, I really want him looking to shoot the ball. I want him to be aggressive offensively, and I think your point's well taken that way, that he can be more aggressive, coming off screens, shooting the ball off of penetration, scoring the ball in transition. I want him thinking that way.
Tyler,
You mentioned Doug McDaniel, and obviously he's another talented guard. I guess how do you try to limit him and not let him sort of take over the game in the way that Jameer did, especially toward the end of the Maryland game?
Yeah, very similar in that way. Like, he's calling the plays, he's calling the actions, he's constantly getting downhill, constantly getting in the lane, creating for people. And keep in mind, like I said, they've got 4 guys around him, all of whom can score. So you can't lay off one guy or another guy. Burnett can score, Kamwa, Williams. I mean, Shetter. I mean, they have so many guys, and obviously Terrace Reed, like I mentioned before. So, keeping him under control is going to be very important for anybody that plays them.
all right, 2 more questions, Coach. First one is Elliot.
And obviously, big goal is to get to the NCAA tournament. With where the team's at right now in terms of win-loss record, I'm sure you're going to love the phrasing of this question, but would you consider tomorrow the game against Michigan a must-win, and how are you approaching that win-loss record right now with the guys?
We just prepare for the next game and try to win that, and then win or lose, try to learn from it and get ready for the next one after that.
Mike,
Fran, before you came into the press room Wednesday night, Tony and Payton were there, and they were down, obviously, but I mean, they seemed very down. Do you have to pull them out of that, or is it something they work through themselves?
Well, it's something that very definitely the coaching staff, myself and my staff, have to do. Those 2 guys are veteran guys. They're very competitive. They consider themselves leaders. So they are consequently going to take more responsibility for a loss. And, that's understandable, and it gives them credibility in the locker room when they talk to their teammates. But they were fine yesterday. They both practiced well. They both had great attitudes. They're young men with great character. And, I would have expected them to be down, but I would expect them to be like they were yesterday, which is incredibly professional, incredibly upbeat.
all right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, guys.